Hey guys, welcome to SE Custom Designs. The night is young, just a little bit after 8 Eastern Standard Time in the Northeast, here in New York, in the shop of SE Custom Designs. This is going to be part 3 or 4 of basically taking this old unit that we made in the 90s and repurposing it into a printer station. And so, I mean, the dust still hasn't really settled. You may recognize this from using the Lee D4R Pro yesterday. We do this in the evening and weekends. This meaning the wood shop, SE Custom Designs. Get the business out of the way. If you like SE Custom Designs on my videos, please subscribe to my channel. We're up to 215 now. We had 2 subscribers in the last couple of days. And thank you, subscribers. Leave us comments, questions, thumbs up, thumbs down. Means you don't like it, something, let us know what with a comment, and we make adjustments along the journey and make suggestions, please. So we have 2 a little more business venues in 2018 so far, and it's coming up quick. We got August, the Maybe House. That's this. 2 of my kids were born here. Pretty cool stuff. This is Rotterdam Junction, the Maybe House. There's way more than this. If we come in close here, we can see some time period pieces there. So that's a 300-year-old home plus now. The Maybes. So at any rate, we're going to have a show there. We're going to have a show here at Aguadat Achim, the Carrot Festival, October 7th. So if you're in the area, please come and buy some stuff. So let's make our way over. We're going to essentially, hopefully, actually do this thing with this video, but we're going to talk about various things on the journey. If you have been following me for a while, you know that we like to talk about a technique and tips. So how do we get there from here? And do you need all these tools? Give me more. I like tools, but you know, back in the when I lived in Eretz Israel, Eretz Israel, used to live in Israel, we only used that wooden hammer over there, some hammers like this. We used that saw there, this guy here for making dovetail joints. We didn't have this, right? This is out of Canada, by the way. And look up my reviews on these things. We just did a fresh review on the Lee. We have some older ones where we talk about working with that. So we did that the last time. Now what we have to do, and at this part of the journey, we have to put a bottom on this drawer. If I put anything in there now, it's just going to fall through. Whoops. So Luan is a really good choice for these types of things. Depending upon what the purpose is and what it's going to be holding. This is a small drawer. Luan is going to be just fine. In most cases, Luan is going to be good. If you need to kick it up a notch, then you can get plyboard like this, okay? And it's a little bit thicker. Looks like it's a 1/4 inch or so. That'll be real strong. Now you might ask yourself, well, how are you going to get that piece of Luan into here? How's that going to happen? Good question. We're going to use the router. Okay, the router system is one way to do it. Another way you could do it is obviously over on the table saw. I have done a very dangerous thing in the 90s when all I had was not this guy, but I had a Ryobi radial arm saw, and I used to turn the blade, to turn this way like this, and I used to do all kinds of things. It was like the main tool I had in my shop. Now you can see I have a lot more. I wasn't actually living here in this house. I was literally living here in this this place here. This is now, like I said, it's a historic society now. It was given to them, and so there you go. My shop was actually right in there. This is a porch, obviously modern, here, and that was my wood shop. My radial arm saw was right over there. So at any rate, we were caretakers there for several years. So at any rate, wow, forgot about that reference. We're going to use the router table for putting the groove to receive the Luan bottom at the bottom here. Okay, so that's what that is. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We'll cut the Luan over here on the table saw. But I want to talk about the F.A.S.T system a little bit more. I talk about the F.A.S.T system in several videos because it's just a smart system. It's basically there's slivers of metal that are very precise. This is 1/8 inch, and basically its main point is to be used on a bandsaw to correct bandsaw drift. That means when you're pushing a piece of wood through, it's going to fool you. It's going to go in the wrong direction. The blade is going to be going off the line at an angle, and this helps you to correct that. Look that episode up. Today we're going to use the F.A.S.T system for two different tools. Now over time, you know how it goes with your tools. They go out of alignment. In this case, my fence was out of alignment. So I would go to lock it down, and it was basically like a little bit too this way. Okay, it wasn't parallel with the blade. All right, so the F.A.S.T system, look how cool that is. Just going to set it here, and I'm going to adjust this screw, and that's going to cause it to go either this way or this way between these two screws. So that is beautiful. What a system for going exactly 1/8 inch above for the blade into the material. I can just raise and lower it accordingly, like this. If I can find it. There we go. So there we go. I'm just going to lower the blade, come in here, and see if I can focus that. There we go. Now I know that I am actually level with it. Another great way of using that system. Okay, I got my sticky notes everywhere just so I can kind of stay organized here. That's a first for me. Being organized, who needs that? Okay, and sorry if you're watching this on a big TV. I forget every time until I go to YouTube channel and I watch stuff on the big TV. Okay, so I'm looking for the garbage again. So we're going to take care of that over there. Let's talk about a router table. If you don't have one, you're thinking, geez, that's a lot of money and I really can't afford it. And, you know, that was my case. But at some point I was able to pull the trigger, and I went with this bench dog system. And inside I have a dedicated router, which is a skill unit. Okay, that's that arrow. And so at any rate, this is a real amazing go-to for me. I will go months without using this thing, and then all of a sudden I need it. So I'll get it and not use it. And this just really has so many things you can do with it. I make molding, throw router bit shapes in there. I left these guys out so I could, first of all, show you that I'm going to be using the straight bit, 1/4 inch. That's what I've mounted in there. Okay, and you can use these guys along your journey. Get a cheap set so you can experiment with them. And what you're going to notice is some of them are getting used, some of them aren't getting used at all. And listen, you didn't lose too much money. It's going to pay for itself. This was only about $30-some or something like this. All right, so you won't regret. I have a couple different sets. I don't know why I have a couple different, because we know what we do. We want more and more and more. Okay, so let's talk about adjusting this very accurately and quickly. The F.A.S.T system, once again. All right, so we're going to set this guy down, and we're going to lock this in. Let's try to focus this guy. Let's see how we're doing. All right, and so we can see that we need, maybe I'll just lower it a little bit more. We can see we need to come up a little bit, right? So we'll just come down, adjust the router so that it can meet the top of the bar system, and there we go. It's that quick, my friends. This pays for itself over and over and over again. I can't say enough about the F.A.S.T system. Look up my review on that, but also we've got the Carter MagFence 2. I didn't have MagFence 1. This is an improvement on MagFence 1. Look that episode up. My bandsaw did not come with uh, with a fence system. You can see that here it's ready to receive one, but for whatever reason they just don't. They modular it out, kind of like our software. Um, so at any rate, there you go. I'm so glad that I got that. Very, very flexible, my friends. For that case, I could take it over there and do some different things there. It's just very versatile. All right, so now that we've got that adjusted, let's go ahead and close this and let's talk about some more options. Okay, more options. See that arrow there? That means eat some food. Okay, powering this on and powering it off. If you think about what's going on here, your mind is very, very busy trying to stay safe and not touch that. Okay, and you're concentrating on what you're doing over here. The last thing I need to do is worry about cutting it on and cutting it off. I want my hands to stay where they're very, very productive. There's two different systems that I have. One is the crank system, where I could just do that, the power goes on, I can go to work, do that very quickly. That saves me from coming in here and turning that off that way. All right, you know, look at all the movement that you got going on. And I just thought about that one day. I'm like, what can I do? Then you've got this guy here. This is a foot switch. This is the, sorry, you can't even see it. This is the foot switch that I'm going to use. This is what I'm going to use. Okay, just press it down, the power goes on. These are options that we have, my friends. And you should think about what is going to work for you. All right, we can pick up that one now. All right, this is fun. Using sticky notes. Okay. So I think we're ready to rock and roll here. So let's go ahead and cut the loo on, and let's mount this. Sorry, you're going in circles with me here, and I apologize for that. All right. Okay. And I recommend that you carry, I can't tell you how many times I've grabbed the measurement, it's in my head, I get over to where I need to actually do the work, and then it's out of my head. So I can quickly look. I actually marked it as well. Okay, so however this guy is 8 1/8 inches. I actually already marked it out, so I can just very quickly adjust this over now, like so. Now I like to go a little bit stronger than what, I wanted to talk about that too. A little bit stronger on the cuts, that way I can always cut it down more. And I want to show you something else. This is something I'll give you some Hebrew here, Siman Nagarim. That's where I learned how to do, started to learn carpentry. Siman Nagarim. This little simple thing over there says that side is square. So it means carpenter's sign, whatever. And so I know that when I'm measuring off and cutting, I know that's square. See, this is a piece I've obviously cut, right? So if I wasn't paying attention, I might think this is okay and this is square. So just do yourself a favor and put that little mark there. And that'll... There's things that we just do in our shops that we don't really think about so much. We just do it. So that's why I'm talking out loud regarding these types of things. And okay, so let's go ahead and make this cut. Okay. Okay, now we're going to make this cut. Again, I'm going to make it strong so that if I need if it's too small, then you got to start all over again, right? So that's why we do this. All right, there we go. Be very careful not to reach over a blade that is running like I just did. Just be very, very careful when you're doing these types of things. All right, let's go ahead and flip you around. All right, so we showed you how we made that adjustment on the router table. And let's talk about a few more things. So you can accessorize with your table, and these are called feather locks. So they're feather boards that will slide into the areas here, and these guys are going to help hold down your wood like this. So I've got it down here, and it's going to help hold that board from going up and down like this. And very, very easy to adjust. You simply go like this, and you can move them along the track. Okay, and again, we want to be concentrating on the task at hand. The task at hand is making this groove. All right, doing it quickly and efficiently. Now we're going to be doing this 4 times. So we just want to get everything all set up and ready to go. And I'm going to take the camera off and show you some of the adjustments on the table that you will be making, or that you can make. Okay, so I'm just doing it what we call a dry run, and I want to see where that bit is going to go through, and I'm liking that. All right, so now I can run this through, like I said, and this is going to take care of holding it down. This is going to protect my hands, and it's going to help hold the piece down. Okay, systems do come like this. I highly recommend hooking up your dust collection system. I have the Jet, which, oh my Lord, I don't know what I did without it. Well, what I did without it was I was breathing in all this very dangerous dust. Now, I don't do this for a living. I'm a QA software guy in the daytime. I do this nights and weekends. So I really couldn't justify getting systems like this. Okay? So one day, as the story goes, true story, I said to my wife, do you mind if I get, yes, I couldn't even get it out of my mouth, dust collection system. This Jet, let's go ahead and show you this, will cut down the dust to 5 microns, this guy. So you're all that dangerous stuff, the big stuff's not going to hurt you, but the small stuff, that's what's going to hurt your lungs. Okay, so, and look up that episode. I don't have my shop, I got to keep squatting down here. I don't have my shop all hooked up with PVC pipe or metal piping like this yet. It just hasn't been a tremendous priority. This guy's on wheels, so I can move him around the shop. When I did reorg number 3, I decided to put him in the middle-ish of my shop so I could take this and hook it up quickly. I didn't put it on the table saw, I just did that real quick. That's no big deal. Now, we talked about when we're using the lead D4, having a sacrificial piece, and that's what you're seeing here. The sacrificial piece was to hone in on the pens to fit into the tails, and you don't want to take the actual pieces and not do it right. So this is your sacrificial piece. I think it took me 3 times because I haven't used the lead D4 in years, and so it was like starting all over again-ish. Look that episode up. That was episode number 2 for this project that we're working on. So I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to run him through, and let's see what happens. And even though I have this kind of the safe system set up, I still unplug it, because what I don't need is to walk by and go, oops. So again, my hands are free now, and I can concentrate on the task at hand. Let me make sure that you can see what I'm doing here. I believe so. You definitely want ear protection, my friends. This is what I have. I have this 3M unit. By the way, any tools that you see in my shop, I use them. I'm not selling them. That's my disclaimer. cool is that? That was very safe. I had utmost confidence because I took my time, I set everything up, and my fingers did not have to get anywhere near that to come in here and shut this thing off. So there you go. If you haven't thought about these things or considered these things, thank me for that. Just give me a thumbs up on the video. Mention it that if I am not doing something and you think that I should be doing it, or a method that's easier, I want your feedback. This has been going on for quite a while. I like to share this stuff, okay? So let's take this out. And this is my #1 tool. It follows me everywhere. I wish I could take it to work. And it's really good for those coworkers. Hey, I'm busy here. So there we go. Let's come over here and see what we can see here. So there we go. We got that cut out. Let's just zoom in there. There we go. So there we go. That's going to receive my Luan. So let's just come over here and see how we go. Perfect, my friends. I even have some room to spare there, and I actually don't mind that, because you know what happens with wood? It contracts and it shrinks. Contraction and expands. And so you really want wood to be able to move around, depending upon what it is. With furniture, that's very important to think about. All right, so we got that done. Let's go ahead, because I am happy with that, and take our drawer pieces apart, and let's go for it. Now, when we were using the dovetail jig, I mentioned that you want to constantly mark things, so you know where they're going to go. Stuff happens, and you're just not 100% on the project at all times, if we'll be honest with ourselves. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just sort of mark the inside real quick, like so, so that I will know which end is being worked on. Okay? All right, let's knock this guy apart. Make sure that you're knocking it apart the right way. So we want to go up. Okay, I'm also going to mark these pieces. Here's how you can do that. Not sure, hopefully you can see what I'm saying here. I make a triangle. This is the top of the triangle. Okay, this is the side of the triangle. This is the bottom of the triangle. This way I'm going to know that these pieces need to go back this way. Okay, and I might even write top. T for top, T for top, B for bottom, B for bottom. Now if I'm doing a lot of these things, this is really going to pay off, okay? And if I want to really be anal, how about right, left, right, left. All right, so let's knock it apart. I'm going to set them like this. We know that this is the bottom. So I'll just go ahead and set that guy ready to go. And then I'll take my other pieces. Nice thing about the F.A.S.T. system, they have these magnets on. I'm going to just go ahead and stick that back on. Okay. The bandsaw. Okay. All right, just stay methodical, stay in the game. say it enough. Safety, safety, safety. Okay, and so if you haven't done this before, made a drawer and this type of thing, I just want to say that this method that I'm using is very, very strong. Last thing you want is to make something for the customer or your loved one, and it's falling apart on them. So I have a guarantee with my work that if something goes wrong, and I mean it, I want to know about it because I want it to be fixed. I don't want you to have bad experience. So at any rate, I have pride in my work, and I want people to be happy with my work. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this together. And so, because I marked these guys out, I should be able to very quickly orient them. If you watch the episode 1, you've seen me fumbling around, even though I had everything all set and marked. Okay? So let's just go ahead and orient these guys. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is leave this guy off. Let's go ahead, hopefully, quickly set this guy back together. And slide that piece of glue on in. Okay, here we go. And let's do this thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just eye it quickly. It looks like it's going to go in just fine. By the way, this Luan, I'm not a salesman for these types of things, but if Luans come a ways, man, it's amazing just how they keep improving. This particular Luan is good for cabinetry and good for furniture. It basically has a primed and ready to use. Saves time with labor and material costs for jobs requiring priming, superior vapor barrier rating to unfinished plyboard. So if you were going to lay this down on the floor, you would put this down first, because that part that has the vapor barrier there that's finished. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to put the board this way. All right, because moisture may get in here, right? So that'll be that. All right, let's see how we do here. How's it going? Okay, it looks like it went right in. We'll turn it around the back here. Make sure that it seats down in there. There we go. All right. And another good thing to do is have squares all around your shop. Let me show you what I mean. Again, when we're doing our videos, we do a lot of talking, and we'd like to share different technique. So if you haven't thought about it, you know, squares, you're using them everywhere, my friends. I'm going to use it right now in here. So I keep these things there. I've got squares here connected to my portable table, which now has being dedicated for my planer, which I still haven't used. And I've got squares here, down in there. I've got squares up there. All kinds of squares that we've got, my friends. Framing squares and T-squares and adjustable. This is a really, really good square up here that's adjustable. So all these types of things, they're just everywhere. And you want, I have this thing called the 10-second rule. You learned that here at SC Custom Designs. 10-second rule means, oh man, where is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I found it in 4 seconds. I needed a nail punch. This is a really nice nail punch, by the way. It's activated. It's really